right, there we go. We are live. We'll just give everyone a few minutes to kind of get settled in here. If you guys can hear us, definitely let me know in that chat down below. Tell us where you guys are from, what you guys are up to today. We'll get everyone kind of settled in here, and looks like we got a couple people popping in already, so that's perfect. All right, there we go. I will go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ben Jacobson. You're back with another episode of SEO from Home. Those of you who are not familiar, again, my name is Ben. I'm the host of this episode of SEO from Home. I'm also the digital marketing strategist here at Page One Power. If you haven't seen SEO from Home before, welcome, first of all. This series is our attempt to kind of keep the SEO community connected somewhat in this kind of crazy time. So with a lot of the trade shows canceling and a lot of people moving to remote work, we're really just looking to kind of keep the SEO community connected as much as we can. FaceTime value is really important, and being able to kind of talk to people, I think, is still something that's really important. So this is kind of our attempt at doing that. So what we're doing is we're sitting down with SEO professionals from across the industry, and we're talking about different topics inside of marketing, digital marketing, SEO, advertising. We've started to kind of branch out a little bit and kind of blur those lines a little bit. So today we're going to be getting back to a little bit more of the root of what we kind of started with, and that's going to be link prospecting and vetting those links. So today we have a very special guest. He's actually joining us again for another webinar, but this is actually the first SEO from Home technically. He actually was on right before all of this kind of started. His name is Venchito Tampon. He's going to be, or he is, excuse me, the co-founder of Sharp Rocket, as well as the director of marketing over there. So today, he's going to be talking with us about how to vet those links and your prospects as they come in so that you can make sure that you're yielding the best results for your time that you're putting in for those links. We're just a couple things to kind of get out of the way before we get started. We're going to be live tweeting today. So if you guys want to try to ask questions or chime in or even retweet some of this great stuff that gets said today, be sure to follow us along at Page One Power on Twitter. And Venchito is at Venchito14, and that's VENCHITO14. So if you guys want to do that, be sure to use hashtag SEO from Home. That kind of helps us find everything. Next, we also did release our free ebook. So if you guys are interested in doing some more of that, like I mentioned, we're kind of getting back to kind of the basics here, and it's going to be covering the link building process from start to finish. So everything from planning all the way through execution. We have that ebook that's available for free. I'm going to post that in the chat actually real quick. And this is actually like this perfectly fits in really well with what we're going to be talking about today, because Venchito's going to be sharing with us like how to vet these prospects at scale. So if you guys are interested, of course, like I mentioned, I'm going to be posting that in the chat right here. Again, if you guys want to check that out, it's free. But then you can take those principles and you can apply what we're learning today by doing it at scale so that you can increase your yields and your efforts, and that makes for a happier website. So all of that being said, again, like I mentioned, today we're talking about scaling and vetting those prospects that are coming in. Venchito is going to be giving us a presentation today. If you guys have questions about that, you'll notice that there is a Q&A box down at the bottom. Definitely pop those questions in there. As you kind of see them, we may not get to them in the exact moment, but we'll definitely make sure that we answer all the questions that we can at the very end. If you guys have any other comments or anything, there is, of course, the chat box down below. But all of that being said, I will shut up and I'll let Venchito get to his awesome presentation today. Venchito, again, welcome. Thank you so much. I know it's really late where you're at. You're in just outside of Manila, or in Manila, right?
Yes, in Manila.
In Manila. Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's like midnight there, so we really appreciate you taking the time and staying up a little bit extra late with us.
All right. Thank you for having me, Ben, and Page One Power for having me for the second time. And it's a pleasure to talk about this very important topic, link qualifications. I'll be sharing with you how you can vet link prospects at scale, meaning how you can increase or improve the efficiency or in speed and velocity of how you qualify links. So if you are an agency owner, I think this would suit you best, because if you're managing link building campaigns, and there's a lot of, there are hundreds, even thousands of prospects. So you want to make sure that your remote team and all of those, outreach specialists and every team member has that capability to speed up the process. Right. So let me share with you my screen first. Okay. So these are the things that you will be learning from this session. Number one is why link qualification matters in the entire link building process. So we have to understand the importance of link qualification. And I think some marketers and even SEOs are kind of like they don't include it in the entire process. So they try to overlook it and simply go straight to the link from link prospecting and jump onto the bandwagon of content creation and outreach process without having a good understanding of this process. Okay, so I'll be sharing the importance of it. Secondly, we'll talk about the top two critical metrics to consider and why other quantifiable metrics are based on these two essential metrics. I think these days there are a lot of so-called SEO gurus and experts who are give you a list of quote unquote quantifiable and quality metrics. But if you and the thing with link building is that you have to simplify the complicated things. And the more you simplify things, the better you can outsource it. If you're an agency owner or if you are an entrepreneur, you can simply just let a virtual assistant or let a team member to handle this process. And so you can simply just focus on these two critical metrics. Thirdly, we'll talk about this Dream 100 principle. I'll also give you some tips on how you can maximize your link prospecting initiative. So, my internet connection is unstable, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
Can you say the how to dream 100 point again? Right. Just it froze for just a second there, and I just want to make sure we heard that.
Yeah, sure. So how Dream 100 principle makes all the difference in how you start link prospect. So this is, I think, will save you a lot of your resources. Okay, so I'll be discussing that as well. So also, in terms of link qualification, a lot of people are going to this route of automation. And there's nothing wrong about automating the process, but we still believe as a company, link building company, that there is advantages. There are advantages of using of qualifying or vetting websites manually. Okay, so I'll be discussing the importance or the difference between these two. Also, I'll be sharing with you how to vet prospects in seconds. Okay, so even if you are still new in the link building or SEO scene, or you don't have any idea what tools and what link building strategy to use for your campaign, this can help you to, in a second, okay, to just qualify a specific website. Okay, so we want to speed up the process here, right? And also tools of the trade you can utilize to qualify a website. Of course, we'll be using some proprietary tools, okay? Even if you don't know any advanced search operators. And this is one of the barriers and challenges of most marketers. They don't have a list, okay, of advanced search operators, and they don't have the technical know-how. Okay, so if you are an absolute beginner, you will learn a lot from this part. And lastly, we'll talk about this easy link building hack to get quality links without creating new content. Okay, and it is, and hint, okay, it's not guest blogging, it's not broken link building or link reclamation. It is a very easy, very simple link building hack that we use in our company to get, okay, not low domain, not but relevant, high quality. So let me start. Okay, so but first, let me share with you a very quick background of what they do. So this is my team. We are 15 to 20 link builders. Okay, we are based in Manila, Philippines. So if you happen to be in Asia, I hope you guys will visit Philippines, or say a tropical country. And this is my website. This is what we do. So we help SEO agencies, e-commerce, and business sites to scale a performance-based link building. And I also speak in international events. This last year I spoke to affiliate marketers in the affiliate summit in Sans Expo, Singapore, and just this year I was able to speak in SEO's RAS in Bratislava, Slovakia, in Europe. It's one of the premium, I would say, the prominent events in the Central Eastern Europe. Okay, I'm also a speaker. I'm also a book author, and so if you want to follow me, you can just send me an email and use this social accounts to tag me if there are any lessons you get from this session. Okay, so let me start. No, okay, why link qualification matters in the entire link building process. Why do we have to talk about this? Okay, first one is that it weeds out unnecessary target sites. Obviously, if you qualify websites, will only be focusing on the most targeted, relevant sites, okay, regardless of what metrics you use. So you don't have to waste time trying to reach out to irrelevant sites that will not give value to your brand, because you want to associate your brand with sites that will not just give you links, but also hopefully will give you some referral traffic. If in case that the link is placed on a very good portion of the site. Okay, so if it is actually a guest blogging approach, you want to make sure that the editorial link is placed on a portion wherein the visitor will click on it. Okay. Second is it validates the linkability of your content. The good thing with link qualification is that it allows you to see the potentiality or the potential links or the number of links that you will be acquiring from the campaign, even before you actually create it. Because most of the time, when people create content, they start with the planning, the content creation side without actually understanding the audience. So it's very important for us to qualify link prospects. It's because it gives us an idea, okay, whether or not we will pursue a content idea or content topic based on how many referring domains, okay, are linking to the top pages of the topic. It also adds some kind of context to how you personalize your outreach copies. And this is where outreach specialists get stuck. They don't really know their audience. So so the thing is that they start with their initial pitch with kind of like this, like, I like your post, I read your post. But to be honest, they don't actually read the blogger's post. They simply use it to kind of like try to signify or emphasize that they personalize the outreach copy, but the reality is they don't really do some kind of research. Okay, so things that you can utilize in your outreach copies, and this is very important because I think my connection is unstable. Okay, where did I stop? Okay, adding context, right? Yeah, adding context to how you personalize your outreach copies. And lastly is link qualification helps you to some kind of brainstorm strategies, because along the way, while you are vetting websites for links, is that you can gain some insights, okay, on what are the link building strategies that are existing in a specific industry. Remember that there are scalable strategies like guest blogging, broken link building, link reclamation that you can use in any industry or in some industries. But there are cases wherein there is a specific strategy that you can tap onto and maximize because you're able to identify it along the link qualification process. And so I want to emphasize this for statements because it can give you the proper mindset. Okay, that link qualification is it's really a critical factor in the entire link building process. Okay, so let's go to the top two critical metrics to consider. And I know some of you are familiar with this, but I want to stick to this critical metrics. The first one is the relevance, and second is the authority. I've shared this in my first webinar with page one here at SEO from home. And the thing is, people will try to have a list of metrics without understanding this. And when I say relevance, I'm not just talking about the domain to domain relevance. We also have to consider the URL relevance or the topical relevance, meaning you want to make sure that you are getting a link from a topically relevant site, page to page relevance, and also you want to get links from high authority sites. And authority, it doesn't mean that it's not easily measured by any third-party tools. And when I say authority, it goes beyond the benchmark metrics that we all know. Simply because there are sites that are that have low domain authority, but if you look at how they establish the branding, how they establish the messaging, how they're able to gain followers, that gives you secondary signals that this site has high authority. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get not only high authority, but also topically relevant URL relevant sites.
So real quick, I
Okay,
just
now let's
jump in.
Sure.
Can you maybe explain where the differences are between URL relevance and domain relevance? Just because I think
Sure.
that might be a little confusing, just if you're not ultra familiar with the small variations there. Can you kind of explain the difference between the URL relevance and domain relevance?
Yeah. Basically, it's let me give you an example. If I have a snoring website, okay, so it talks about any tips on sleeping better, how you can sleep better at night. Okay, so the main theme, the main topic of my website is about snoring or sleeping. Okay, if I will pursue a URL relevant link, what I will do is to search for any snoring blogs and get links from their pages. And that's a very URL relevant, meaning I will get a topically relevant, meaning I will get a link from a topically relevant page. Okay, snoring to snoring, sleeping to sleeping. But domain relevant links, I'll be getting a link from a snoring page under a health website, for example.
Gotcha.
Okay, so yeah. So that makes sense. Are you getting this?
Yeah. So maybe in another word, just to make sure that I am understanding it properly. So for example, using what you're saying, the snoring website. So perhaps URL relevance would be something like stopsnoringnow.com.
Yeah.
Whereas a domain relevance might come from WebMD or Healthline or something like that. Does that kind of sound right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we're clear on that, just to make sure there is no confusion there. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you guys get that. All right. Okay. Let me proceed to this DIM 100 principle. And the reason is the reason we have to discuss is that many times people are wondering how to get their first 100 or first 1,000 prospects. Okay. So the moment you understand this principle and the moment you execute the entire strategy, you'll be able to collect your first 100, at least first 100 link prospects and link targets. Okay. Basically, what you want to do is identify your first 100 authorities, right? So these are the influencers, these are the authorities in your website. Now, if you're an SEO, if you are running an SEO agency, this could be a little bit harder because you will have to invest resources and time trying to target the first 100 influencers and authorities for your different clients. Okay, so this will take a lot. But if you only have one website, okay, this will work for you, and 3 or 4 or 5, depending on your resources and team. Okay, so basically, what you want to do here is to simply identify your first 100 influencers and authorities. Okay, basically these are the thought leaders in your industry, in your space, and you want to make sure that they also have your own websites, right? Now, talking about the Dream 100. Now let me categorize audiences, because in link prospecting, the most important principle to understand is you have to target a specific audience. And there are two types of audiences that you can target when it comes to link prospecting. The first is interest based. Okay. Secondly is the search based audiences. Okay. So let's start with the interest based. Now, basically with interest based, you're trying to target a group of similar interests with similar interests, right? Mommy bloggers, parenting bloggers, online dating, publishers, within the same interest, within the same uh, attention groups. Okay, so these are some questions that can guide you identifying this audience. The first one is, who are the people you're following? Okay. You want to look for who are the top influencers in that niche, for example. Okay. Internet connection is unstable again. Okay. Second, what companies are you following? Okay, in that specific industry, niche, vertical, what are the companies you are following? And thirdly is, what books, movies, books, brands are you following? This can also term as entities, some entities in your industry. Okay, so it is how you prospect for target interest-based audiences. Secondly, so we have this search. For example, we have this highly linkable BLB audiences. So when you when you create a content specifically for teachers, okay, you're targeting an audience with similar interests. Same thing with caregivers, parents, and students. So basically, it's just a group of audience with similar interests, right? I think I don't have to explain this further. Okay. Second is we have the search-based audiences. This is where you try to use tools and websites with a lot of following, at the same time with built-in communities. Okay. So what are the popular search platforms? Okay. It could be Quora. You can use that. Okay. It could also be social platforms or YouTube, for example, wherein there are many people searching or inside the community, right? And who are the key influencers in the top results when you do a search in the platform? Basically, when you do a search for, link building on YouTube, for example, you see Brian D and Page One Power and other influencers. Okay, so basically, how you can identify your top 100? As simple as you get the top 100 influencers when you search in that platform. Okay, as simple as that.
Are you using any
Third is what
to search that, or are you just kind of keeping like a spreadsheet with, like, are you using like Social Blade or any of these like social media influencer tracking or anything like that, or are you just kind of doing the research by doing searches and recording what you see?
Yeah, better if you can do it manually, but I would prefer to use some proprietary tools like Social Blade and all of this stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So yeah, and what brands and entities are dominating in the search as well? Okay. Not only you will be able to find influencers, publishers, solo publishers, but also you'll be able to find companies and brands dominating in that search as well. Okay. So if you combine these two, hopefully you get the first 100, your first 100 dream list. Okay. Now you can also use podcast directories. Okay. These are search-based platforms that where you can find your dream 100. Okay. Now next, let me discuss this. Why manual qualification is better than automating the entire vetting process? Okay. Why do you have to do it manually? And I think some agencies are doing it manually, others not. I think there has to be a balance between the two. Okay, you don't want to go extreme, just trying to automate the entire process, and while sacrificing the manual qualification part. First is that you don't overlook high quality sites that do not pass quantifiable metrics. I think with automation, of course, it's not perfect. Okay, so there are times wherein you get to see websites that are relevant, and have huge following, at the same time that has the high organic traffic, you won't see that it will pass the benchmark, for example. And second is you get to see the content formats and styles that work. Okay, and the good thing with manual qualification I shared earlier is that it gives you some kind of brainstorming. Okay, you'll now be able to see what formats are effective in a specific niche. So now you're not just creating a content based on a vague idea, but you are creating a content that serves your audience. It also gives you some insights about shoulder niches, which I'll be sharing later. Right. So when you qualify links, this is something that you have to instill and train your link builders. Right. They have to take notes while qualifying link prospects. Okay. So they're you don't want them to act like robots, as if like they're just trying to scrape prospects from Google and prospects from link building tools. What you want to do is to help them analyze while doing qualification. You want to get them into the team and trying to contribute some insights and brainstorming topics, specifically about shoulder niches that you can target. Okay, the three core markets, if ever you are stuck in what specific industry, on what are the other verticals and audiences that I can target, if in case you maximize already all of the publishers and bloggers in your space, you can go straight to this three core markets principle. It's basically the three core desires as a human being. Okay, so as a person, you have these three core desires: wealth, health, and relationships. And beneath those topics, there are sub segments, subtopics that you can also target. And the thing with link prospecting is that you can do some kind of brainstorming with using this principle. Okay, now, how to vet link prospects in seconds. Okay, so let me go straight to the some points and things to consider here. First one is post recency. Okay, and I think I don't have to discuss this, but if you're not familiar, basically you can look at the blog section of the site and see how frequent the blog owner or the publisher, the content creator is publishing their articles. So you want to make sure that you don't get a site or blog that publish their recent blog post, let's say 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Okay? It's very basic, but I think some marketers still missing that. Right? So they include it in their prospecting list without really trying to understand that this prospect will never give them a reply. Second is the brand size. So if you are a big brand, okay, you have this huge advantage. If you're a small site, small blog, for example, then you have to climb up and try to get first prospects within your sphere of influence. And then the moment you build up your authority by penetrating blogs in your space, then you can use that as social proof when reaching out to prospects. Okay, so brand size is very important. You want to match your link prospecting list to the size of your brand. Third is website traffic. You want to make sure that you get links from websites with traffic. You can use Ahrefs, SEMrush. And the thing with traffic is that you also want to check the percent of traffic by country or by region. So if your business is only targeting a specific audience, let's say you're only looking at Australians or people in Canada, for example. Okay, so these tools, Ahrefs, SEMrush can help you identify if a specific blog or website is targeting a specific country only. And also, you want to make sure that the site doesn't have any major traffic drops. Okay, meaning they don't get any penalties. Okay, algorithmic penalties is good, but there are sites that have major hits. Okay, at the end of this, you want to get links from websites that can give you traffic consistently through referrals. And types of external referral links, meaning when you check a page or when you check a website, you want to make sure that they link, they include external links. Okay, not all blogs will have external links. They try to hoard it. Okay, I'm not sure why, but there are blogs that only link to their pages internally. Okay, and not only you want to know if the blog has external links, but also you want to at least check if these external links are the same type of content that you will be creating. Okay, so let's say you want to create a resource page and you want to get links from websites and blogs. You want to make sure that those blogs and prospect sites or blogs has some kind of external links pointing to resource page as well. Okay, and that is very a simple. Uh, that's pretty basic, but I think some marketers are still they don't have that idea yet. Okay. Next is sites natural link acquisition. There are cases that you will the thing is this, you want to maximize the linking page, the links that you will be getting from a page or site. Okay, so if in case the site has the ability to acquire links naturally, then that's a good advantage of plus for you, because not only you'll be getting one link, okay, but continuously site, given that they have that ability to acquire links from other pages or from other sites. And basic design and branding check. There are blogs. I don't know. I don't want to quote any countries or here, but because I'm also an Asian. So there are blogs in the tech industry, the finance that have templated web design, and I'm not sure, but you still have to do some due diligence before you actually categorize them as PBN. Okay, some of them are really good sites, but this is one of the easy thing to consider when you're looking at or vetting sites for prospects. Do they have visually appealing design? Because the thing is, if they invested in web design development in their site architecture, okay, you know that this site can attract targeted customers. You know that the site can attract targeted followers, which you want to absorb for your site or for your brand. Okay. And also, I shared this earlier that you want to check if a site or a page has external links. But basically, you can also do that, not only manually checking it. You can also use Ahrefs to simply check if they have external links. Okay. Are they linking to resources pages? Are they linking to a type of content that you want to create in the future? Okay. Guest blogging, guest guidelines. This can help you identify. Now, lastly is you want to avoid shady outgoing links. Of course, there are external links that will redirect to, porn, pharma, and, shady outgoing links. Okay. So this is pretty basic, but you have to train your link builders to quickly identify it. Okay, and so let's go to the tools of the trade in vetting websites for links. So these are just some of the tools that you can use. Of course, Ahrefs, SEMrush. Okay, if you're not familiar, these are third-party tools. Okay, they have free accounts, but I really recommend if you can get their premium account, especially Ahrefs, because they have so many features that you can use in prospecting, getting ideas and topics for your content at the same time, getting your first 100 prospects. Simple as that. Okay, SEMrush also can help you identify the traffic if the site or blog has traffic hits or drops. Okay, next is URL opener. Okay, basically we are our link builders are using this when they manually vet websites for links. Okay, basically it's basically it will just if you will just copy and paste all of the URLs and it will let you open these URLs. Google Sheets and the thing that I like with Google Sheets is that even if you don't have to click on the website and go to the website to see if the site is relevant by simply looking at the meta tags, right? The page title, meta titles, right? And meta description. You'll now be able to see if a site is relevant. So this speeds up the process given that you don't have to individually click on every website on your list. Okay, by simply looking at the Google Sheet, simply looking at the meta tags or meta title per se, okay, you'll now be able to know if it is relevant. Handling prospecting tools, we have Link Builder. Citation Labs is more of a if you have several link building campaigns, I think this is the best use of your resources because it can help you prospect hundreds, even thousands. Now, but the thing is, again, you have to manually qualify those prospects. And we have Link Marker and Link Builder. Link Builder is from Traffic. I'm not sure if it's from NICU Banks. Okay, this tool can help you identify or can help you semi-automate the process of, let's say, for example, you created a roundup of influencers and bloggers and try to interview them, create their interviews in one big post. The thing that Link Builder will do is that it will give you the list of all the websites you mentioned on your post. Okay, so it semi-automates that process. Okay, now let me go to the last part, which is the easy link building hack to get quality links without creating new content. And this is not, the other strategies that you already know. Okay, now I'll be giving you 4 steps. Okay, the first step is this: you want to find pages that link to your competitors but haven't linked to you. If you still remember the Dream 100, the Dream 100 will give you the list of all the top sites. Okay, so you can use that as as your domains here. Okay, one of the tools that you can use is Ahrefs. It has this feature link intersect, and simply you will just input the domains of your competitors and your website, but doesn't link to optional section. Okay, so this will give you all of the links, all of the pages that link to your competitors but haven't linked to you. Okay, next. Okay, so this is just an example. Okay. Next is to check if the website. Okay, now you have this list of link prospects. You wanna check each link prospect or website if they have informational pages relevant to your topic. Okay, so you can use this advanced search operator site domain and then try to
I think you might have froze up for that last little bit there.
sorry.
I think you might have froze up for that last little bit. You said try this advanced search operator, and then I think it froze right after that.
Yep. So you can use site search operators and then domain and then the topic of your choice. And the reason why you have to do that is that you wanna make sure. Again, we were talking about URL relevance earlier, right? So you want to get a link from a topical relevant site, not a generic site, right? So next is to get email addresses of the authors of those pages. You can use hunter.io to speed up the process. Now here's the good part here. Okay, this is the meat of the strategy. Okay, instead of you proposing a guest post or instead of you sharing a link of your resource page or any content asset that you just created. What you want to do is to offer a content partnership thing. Okay. Some marketers call this as the link exchange, but I try to make it, a non SEO savvy type of offer, right? Because of course, in the marketing scene and in even in other industries, they already know that link exchange. Of course, they have this connotation that link exchange is bad. It's not good for the website. Okay, so you want to avoid that. Okay, so the best thing to do is to replace it with the term content partnership. Basically, content partnership is you want to you want to get a link from their one of their pages that is relevant to your page, okay? And you will also offer a link, okay, linking to one of their pages. Now, you don't want them to you don't want those two pages to link exclusively. You want to make sure that a topic page A is your page A is linking to the page B of their website, and their page C, for example, is linking to your page B. Are you getting this? So you
Yes.
don't want to,
Not a one.
mutually, yeah,
Gotta, like,
that one-to-one link exchange, and that is what makes other marketers get spun, or at least get stuck in the process, because they're lazy enough to identify or look for any page or topic that will be relevant to the prospect side. So basically, it's a kind of like a link exchange, but more of a content partnership offer. So we level up the process here. Okay, so what we discovered here, why link qualification matters in the entire link building process. I share that. We also talk about the top two critical metrics: relevance and authority. We discussed URL relevance, domain relevance. You also take a look at the Dream 100 principle. Basically, you identify your first 100 authorities, influencers, either using the interest-based audience targeting or the search-based audience targeting. Okay, you can mix the two. You can use those two types of targeting to get your Dream 100 list. And also, why with manual qualifications better than automating the entire vetting process. And also, we discussed this how to vet prospects in seconds. So we have post recency, brand size, websites with traffic without major traffic drops, types of external referential links, types natural link acquisition, basic design, and branding checks, sharing external pieces, and shady outgoing links. We talk about tools of the trade. Even if you don't know any advanced search operators, simply rely on those third-party tools and the easy link building hack, which is the content partnership offer. Okay, so let me just give you how we another value. Okay, so we just I think in the next week we'll be releasing our ebook. This is the 5 easy steps to conduct broken link building. So if you find this, if you're not familiar with broken link building, basically it's getting links from resource pages of non-commercial sites, right? .org, .edus, and .gov. Okay, so I will be giving you the entire process, also our templates. Okay, I want you to watch out for that. And also, let me just share with you my agency. We provide the done for you service. So if you think the entire link qualification, entire link prospecting, and even content creation, and the outreach initiative or the outreach process is too difficult for you, right? So you don't have any resources, you don't have any budget to do that. Now let our company do that for you. So we provide this link building end-to-end campaign from qualification, content creation to outreach. And we are only serving SEO agencies, e-commerce, and enterprise sites. Okay, so these three types of targeting. And also, if you want to, know more about the strategy, and if you have any more questions, besides the Q&A portion that we will have later on, I want you to schedule a call, book a call, calendly.com/bracket. I'll be giving you a 3-minute strategy call for your website. Some of the recommendations we have Cyrus Shepard and Brian Dean of Backlinko, good friend of ours, and yeah, okay, from one of our clients. And that's it. Okay, again, if you want to schedule a call, simply check this link, and then I'll talk to you about your link building campaigns. Oh, and also, these are my social accounts. Feel free to send me an email. That's it. Thank you, Ben.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. We did have a question that popped in here that I wanted to jump into real quick. It's something that we actually talked about previously on one of our episodes of SEO from home, and it's specifically around like following and sponsor tags and stuff like that. Sarah asks, what are your views on a sponsorship link campaign? Follow tag, not sponsored tagging, etc.
Okay, sorry. Let me check the question. Okay,
Okay.
got it.
So again,
What
just
are your views?
oh, sorry, go ahead.
What are your views on a sponsorship link campaign? Follow tag, not sponsored tagging. Uh, okay. The thing with sponsorship now, Google has already has this, well sponsored link. So if you are getting a link from a page that has this advertising that speaks explicitly telling Google's explicitly telling its visitors that there is a sponsorship opportunity. You wanna make sure that the link has that well sponsored attribute. All right. So yeah, views on sponsorship link campaign. There are cases that when you reach out to bloggers and publishers, they will ask for some kind of payment. All right. And the thing is, if it is in agreement with your client, if it's in agreement with your brand manager, it is something that is can be discussed that you can buy some kind of, you can offer payments in exchange for links, then I think you can do that. My only consideration is the agreement between you and your boss or between you and your client, because getting links from sponsorships sites or blogs that have sponsorship or advertising options. I think it's good as long as they're relevant to your website.
Awesome. Cool. I think that's all the questions that we had coming through. I did want to point out again, just kind of touching back on some of the things that you brought up before. I think that to your point, there's a lot of value in figuring out who you're reaching out to prior to actually making that email. As we mentioned before, like vetting and finding prospects and reaching out to them and all of these things is, it's not necessarily that it's very difficult to do specifically, but it's very, very time consuming and it takes a lot of resources. I think that by doing the extra step of vetting your prospects through the steps that you just mentioned, making sure that they're posting recently on their blog, make sure that they're posting consistently on their blog. Are they accepting outside sources? Are they only internal? Like all of these things that you mentioned, those few minutes just to qualify those extra sites, really, it seems like you're adding more time to it because you're like, oh, well, it's going to take me 5 minutes to then vet this list of sites. But what you're actually doing is you might save yourself hours and hours or even days of work if you're talking hundreds of prospects. That could save you days of time in the end. So like even though it seems like you're doing an extra step, it's actually it's a shortcut to make it end up being faster. So I know that's something that we're very passionate about here at Page One Power. I know that we do pretty extensive vetting of our prospects as well, trying to make sure that the time that we're spending on all of these campaigns is going to be the most rich return on investment for us. And that's really kind of the other thing that I was going to say is this really kind of brings home the idea that a link is not just a one and done sort of thing. The point you brought up with, get a link on a site that is already accruing other natural links, because what that's doing is you're looking at your link acquisition as almost like a piece of property, like a piece of real estate. you want to buy it in an area that's continuing to gain in value already, so that in 5 years from now, that link that maybe was worth, whatever the value is that you put on that link, that might have gone up 5x in the last 5 years, just because of the other links that it's naturally gaining over time. So, I mean, there's a lot of methodology to it, but ultimately you're looking at wanting to provide something that's going to continue to put your link and your website in front of the best eyeballs for your website too. So I really like those points you brought up as far as viewing it long term and not just trying to get a quick one and done sort of strategy. So that was really great. I like that. I think that's just gonna about wrap us up. We're getting close to the top of the hour already. It's crazy that an hour's already gone by. It doesn't feel like it. I'm sure Venchito's, I'm sure you're probably pretty tired. You're like, I definitely know that it's been an hour. It's 1 a.m. here. But I again wanted to say thank you again so much for joining us again late at night, and also just coming back on with us and chatting with us again. I know it was really fun last time, and I think that was really helpful and informative this time too.
Yeah. Thank you for having me again. I hope I can be a guest in the future.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you back. Thank you guys again so much. Again, we recorded today's session, so if you did have to step out for any time, we'll have this up typically in about 24 to 48 hours. Again, if you have any other questions, you guys have Venchito's contact information as well as ours. Feel free to reach out if you guys have any other questions. And until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys next time. See you later. Thanks, Venchito.